Good morning and welcome to Policing TV. I'm today joined by members of the Police Scotland Professional Development Team. Angela Brodie, the organisational lead on professional development, and Gav Edgar, the colleague development facilitator. Thank you both for joining us here this morning on Policing TV. Congratulations are in order. You were the winners of the Inspire Justice Awards Learning and Development Programme of the Year. Many congratulations for that. And we'll talk about that in a little more detail in a moment or two. But Angela, if I can come to you, tell us something about the work that you do and your team does in Police Scotland, please.
Good morning, Bernard, and thanks for inviting us along to this session. It's really appreciated to talk about the work that myself and the team have been doing for Police Scotland. We're the professional development team, which sounds very fancy, but it's all about learning and development. To be honest, that title can be sometimes misleading in terms of folks see that to think, oh, that doesn't apply to me because professional development, what does that mean? So that's probably the first thing I'd want to say. We very much support all colleagues in the organisation with their learning requirements. And from my perspective, policing is such a dynamic and diverse set of skills that all colleagues need, whether you're an officer or a member of staff. So our team is a very important enabler within the organisation, although we're not sort of, we're not out there dealing with the public in terms of first response. We see our role as very much supporting the people that support the people. And that's what myself and the team talk about every day. How can we use our skill set as learning and development professionals to help our colleagues have a better work experience, a positive working environment, but also how do they develop their skills to deliver the best service for the public. So that's it in a nutshell. I mean, obviously there's lots of different learning products that we provide, and as I say, policing's really complex in terms of the skill set. But the one thing that we have focused in on is learning products that develop a deeper level of self-awareness, because we're a people business, and therefore our people are our greatest asset. And it sounds like a cliche, but it's the truth. So we've developed learning products that help colleagues to develop deeper self-awareness and look at their behaviour day to day, their impact, and look at maybe what's holding them back as well in terms of their mindset.
So the Inspire Justice Awards, you and colleagues decided to submit a nomination to nominate yourselves for this Learning and Development Programme of the Year. Tell us something about that submission. What was in the submission?
A very detailed submission, I'm pleased to say. I think the team, it was a really cathartic process for us as well to be able to capture all the work that we'd done. We're not a huge team. There's 6 of us to support 22,000-ish colleagues and officers and staff. So the submission pretty much provided an overview of what was really 2 years of work over a period of time where we designed and delivered a CPD portfolio of learning products that really enabled us to showcase the learning needs analysis that we'd completed, the design that we'd completed of high quality products, the coaching and the facilitation that we've delivered in terms of the products themselves, the deeper subject matter expertise that we've developed through the last couple of years, particularly in equality, diversity and inclusion. And then just that opportunity to really look at operational policing and understand what is it that are the development topics that our colleagues will really benefit from. So the submission covered all of that. it covered that journey we've been on, and it also we were able within the submission to, more importantly for me, it wasn't just look at me, look at everything we've done. We were also able to include within that submission the portfolio of products, but also the evaluation of those products and what our colleagues were telling us about their learning experience. So I think because it was such a robust submission that covered all elements of the learning journey that people go on, I think that was its strength, if I'm honest, that we were able to show that complete package.
So, plenty of evidence in the submission you made on continuous professional development, CPD, and indeed other areas. Gav, I'm going to come to you now. So, as colleague development facilitator, and maybe say a little bit about what actually stands behind that. What is a colleague development facilitator? You were one of two members of Police Scotland staff that went down to the awards, and Angela wasn't one of them. So tell us about the colleague development facilitator role, and then explain why Angela didn't go and a colleague of yours did go.
That's absolutely fine, yeah. So thanks very much for having us onto the interview. Yeah, good morning. So the colleague development facilitator role is the main premise of the role is facilitating training sessions for myself. However, it's a kind of broad role that covers a lot of what we do. So it's from content development to design to redefinement to giving feedback to understanding what we can do to better support our forces or the people within the force. So that's staff, that's officers, that's people working in every department of Police Scotland, and how we can make sure that we are best hitting that. My part of the role, the part of the role that I love the most is the facilitation side of things. That's running the training sessions, whether that's things around people's mindset, whether that's things around being more inclusive as an organisation or as a team, or as if it's something bespoke to one of the areas of business to help them become the best version of themselves and the best team possible is really important. So that's the kind of day-to-day runnings of the role. When it came to the awards, we were under restrictions in regards to public funding and how we could send the whole team down. I know that Ange and the leadership team within the organisation did want to send all of us down to experience London and enjoy the event. However, that was a restriction put upon us. So Ange took the decision to take herself out of it. I think it's probably because Ange is really busy, and actually a day out would have been quite difficult to recover from with the kind of demands of the role. But it was put down to a vote from the team, and they kind of unanimously voted that me and Jane would go down to represent
Jane Christie. So your
Jane
colleague
Christie.
Jane
Yeah,
Christie.
colleague Jane Christie is a colleague development facilitator that's been within policing for a long time. I won't mention how many years, otherwise she might kill me. But she's been part of Police Scotland for a very long time, and it was kind of recognition for that. I think the deciding factors were I was one of the originals within the team when we developed. So when we first started, it was Ange on her own with a few kind of, I was going to say scraps there, but that's kind of putting me place down. But we were kind of given people to help Ange. I was there temporarily and then was able to come on permanently. So it was the first permanent member of staff. So I think it was recognition of that. And then Jane was one of the second to join, and Jane was the person that submitted the application for us and worked really hard on that. So it was recognition of that. So we both got a day trip down to London, which was really nice. And it sounds very glamorous, but it was a 7 a.m. flight in the morning down, and then it was a 7 p.m. that turned out to be a 10 p.m. flight back home. So it was a full 20-hour day. It felt like I was
Long
up at
day.
4 a.m. Yeah,
Long day.
but the event was really nice. Once we got there, it was in the shadows of Big Ben and Parliament, the venue, and it was a really well run, put together event. It felt very kind of prestigious to be there, and the recognition, we felt really warmly welcomed and felt like we were there for good reasons, and being amongst the company that we were in the justice sector really kind of humbled us in regards to why we were there. So yeah, the event
So
was
you were
brilliant.
shortlisted. You were invited to attend because you had been shortlisted.
hmm
When you went down there, you had no idea, I believe, whether you were going to win or not. So there you were, sat. You and Jane sat in the audience, awaiting
hmm
the announcement of the winners. How did that feel?
hot. I was very warm, but it felt really kind of nerve-wracking because we were the last category to go up. We didn't know that we were going to win anything. We didn't really know that we would be walking away with an award either. It was only later on that we found out that it was 2 people from each category that were invited down, and they were the kind of 2 shortlisted. One was going away with a runners-up award, and the other was going away with the winners. But we didn't know that that was the case. So when we were sat there, we were kind of initially I was nervous, but because we were the last one of however many awards, I don't know the exact number, it was a good couple of hours before we were coming, so I was able to relax into it and just kind of enjoy hearing the stories of the other winners and the runners up, and kind of understanding what other people had gone through and what amazing work they were doing in their departments and their areas. And Police Scotland, we were the only representatives from Scotland, so that felt kind of unique for us, which was really nice. But you were hearing from inspiring talkers and people doing brilliant work in the justice sector, not just within policing, but across the whole kind of justice sector. So prison stuff and dealing with the kind of courts and areas like that. So it was really great to mingle with them and learn more about it. So I think I relaxed almost too much, because then when the award came around, I was a bit nervous again, kind of forgot that it was coming. And then when they announced us as the winner, I think shock was mine and Jane's first reaction. We both kind of looked at each other like, what, how, where, kind of speechless almost, very much mumbling. We were both nervous that we might have to make a speech when we went up to collect the award. Luckily we didn't, so we just kind of turned up, collected the award, shook their hands, and then walked back. But I think a lot of them were taken by surprise as well, because they were expecting a full team to get up on stage, and just me and Jane got up, so they were kind of taken back by that. But it was overall, it was overwhelming. I think kind of experiencing it, and a lot of, when I first joined policing, you hear a lot of people say I was just doing my day job, and actually a lot of those people, I felt like their day jobs were very significant in comparison to ours, but a lot of people were very kind of complimentary of the work that we do. And it was, again, recognizing that it's not just our day job, it's things that we're doing that impact much wider than that. So yeah, we felt very humbled and very gracious to receive it. And then I was actually ecstatic. I often swear, I won't swear today, don't worry, but there were some expletive words that were going through my mind, and those are the kind of the emotions I sent when I sent the text message back to the team saying that we had won. Took a picture of the award in front of Big Ben and just kind of said, we did it, in fewer words than what I actually used.
Well, very many thanks, very many congratulations, I should say, again, to you and your colleagues in the team for winning the Learning and Development Programme of the Year, the Inspire Justice Awards 2023 Learning and Development Programme of the Year. In a way, though, the work doesn't stop. Does it inspire you to even greater efforts? Tell us, Angela, now about the work that you are looking to do in the coming year. And I don't know whether you're barred from for nominating yourselves again for future years, but how do you top that? What do you do now that is going to continue the work of your team at that level, and maybe even a little bit further as well?
Yeah, so the clue's in the title of our team: continuous professional development. So, you know, when you've worked in learning and development for as long as I have, which is over 20 years now, those that think they've cracked it with one learning product or, you know, one success will very quickly find out that that's not the case. So, yeah, I think what the award has done for us, Bernard, is given us that confidence, first and foremost, that we are being acknowledged by our peers and, you know, other areas of business that we are doing well. And you know, that's been great, because sometimes, you know, you can think everything's great, and that's not necessarily everybody's experience. So to get that accolade, it's given us that confidence. So that's the first thing. It's also given us credibility within our own organisation. You know, I've been in policing now 5 years. Previous to that, I was 28 years in the private sector. So I've found policing quite fascinating. That the credibility piece, yeah, it's always important in all organisations, but particularly in policing. maybe it's the evidence thing. They're always looking to, well, how do we know that you're any good? So it's given us that reassurance to be able to highlight that to colleagues. Look, we've went and tested our mettle against others and we won. So it's given us that confidence as well from a credibility perspective. In terms of what's next, it's scaling up what we're doing. We're a national police service. It's huge, it's complex, there's loads of challenges in terms of geography. We're still transforming as a business from the creation of Police Scotland in 2013. So we're still organising our infrastructure, and there's transformation going on across the business. So our sort of mission, impossible, I suppose, which we want to make possible, is to scale up what we've done and to get to more colleagues. And we're already seeing the success. People are coming to us with unsolicited, can you help us? There is a real appetite for learning in the organisation. So our key sort of focus is things that support, as I said at the sort of earlier part of the conversation, our products. It's nothing about operational policing. It's actually about how do you improve yourself? How do you become the best, again, another cliche, best version of you? How do you develop your skills so that you're the best colleague and also delivering the best service? So, so in summary, it's a scaling up of that mission. But there's also a huge focus, you'll not be surprised, in topics that link to equality, diversity and inclusion. So we've got a huge portfolio of work kicked off as well in that space to help colleagues understand how to create better climates in work, how to understand, the differences that we all bring to the table, and how that's important to be aware of those things and to be supportive and to be knowledgeable. So we've got a huge piece of work kicking off this year around equality, diversity and inclusion as well. So lots to do. I'm also sneakily hoping my team will get bigger. But there is a lot of challenges which my colleagues across the UK will understand in the public sector space around budgets and finances. So that will always have an influence in what we can do. But we've got huge support from our executive team and also wider. There's a learning and development strategy coming for Police Scotland this year as well. So there is a real desire to start to build for the future, and all the key players understand where learning plays the part in that to transform the business. So that's the future. Not much to do.
Well, many thanks for joining us here on Policing TV this morning. Many congratulations to you both and to your colleagues in the professional development teams, Police Scotland's professional development team, for winning the Inspire Justice Learning and Development Programme of the Year Award 2023. I wish you and your colleagues all the best for your work this year, 2024, and into the future. And thank you for sharing some of those insights into the work that you do and the awards that you won. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernard.
Thanks, Bernard. Our pleasure. Nice to meet you.